A couple of words could be the difference between success and failure when it comes to your library marketing. How do you make sure that you get people to take an action when they see your print materials or your digital promotions? We're going to talk about it in this episode of the Library Marketing Show. Welcome, everyone. I'm Angela Hursh from the blog superlibrarymarketing.com. You can head there and click on the Library Marketing Show tab to suggest a topic for a future episode or to nominate your library or another library for Kudos. We're going to give away Kudos a little later in this episode, so stay tuned because you absolutely don't want to miss this one. But first, I want to dive into today's topic. After I get you to subscribe to my channel, if you haven't already, please hit the big old subscribe button down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're a fan and following me on LinkedIn, hit the follow button. That way, every time I post one of these videos, you'll get a notification and you won't miss any of the advice. Okay, today's episode is all centered around calls to action. And most of the time, when we think about calls to action, we think about them in terms of digital marketing, especially around emails or websites. But I want to talk a little bit about how to formulate them and then expand the way that you think about calls to action and where they can be located. So there are a couple of components that make a really great call to action. First of all, you want to use strong action words. You're trying to persuade someone and you're trying to catch their attention and get them to do something, whether that's register for a program, donate to your library, download an ebook, whatever it is. You got to catch their attention and persuade them to take that action. You also want to use your calls to action to communicate the value of your library and the service that you are providing. And you want to kind of provoke some emotion in that person. That's going to be memorable. That is what's going to catch their attention and get them to do something and interact and engage with your library. So those are just three of the components that make up a good call to action. I think a lot of times libraries are a little bit afraid to get outside of the box when they're thinking about calls to action. There are a lot of calls to action that I see over and over again in library promotions. Read this book, place a hold, register, learn more, get more info, and those are all fine. But I want to issue a little bit of a challenge today and ask you to kind of stretch your imagination and come up with a list of calls to action that are things maybe you haven't used before and they might feel a little, I don't want to use the word dangerous, but a little dangerous when we're talking about library marketing. And I want you to start using those calls to action in your emails, social media, and in your posters, print materials. You can use call to action in your print materials. To help you out, to help you brainstorm this, I have an article from a company called Wishpond. It's a blog post. They wrote all about calls to action, and there are 50 examples from profit companies that I think you can look at and get a lot of inspiration for your calls to action. So I'm going to put a link to that article down below in the show description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, it will be in the comments. And I'm curious about your calls to action. Has your library used a call to action that's sort of outside the box? Share with us. Let us know down in the comments. Let's get a conversation started about calls to action. Do you have a hard time coming up with them? I do. And what do you do to get yourself inspired? Have you used one that got a lot of great interaction with your audience? Let's talk about it, and I'm certain the rest of the viewers of the Library Marketing Show would love to hear your successes and, you know, the stumbles that you may have had when it comes around call to action. Okay, so I want to get to the kudos part of the show, and I have to do a little disclaimer because I feel kind of silly, not silly, but I used to work for the library that's getting kudos today, and that's the Public Library of Cincinnati in Hamilton County. Their TikTok account has gone viral, and as of this recording, which is at the beginning of February, they have a TikTok that they created. Their social media person created this TikTok with a branch staff at one of their branches, and it has gotten almost 500,000 views. By the time you watch this episode, that number may be even higher, and you probably have seen this TikTok. It's the one with the blogger. It's intercutting with the blogger who's like using her legs and doing splits to take things off of shelves in a store. And then it cuts to the Cincinnati library worker who is also mimicking her motions in shelving books and pulling books for holds. It's funny. It's like I could watch it all day long, and it has just gone crazy. So I'll put a link to the TikTok in case you've been living under a rock and you haven't seen it down below, as well as an article from a publication here in Cincinnati called City Beat that has the behind the scenes story of how that TikTok was put together. That is all going to be down in the show description if you're on YouTube, or the comments if you're on LinkedIn. I want to say congratulations and kudos to my former coworkers at the Cincinnati Library. You have mastered Twitter or TikTok. All right. That's it for today's episode of the Library Marketing Show. I've got lots more advice on this channel. If you want to continue to get advice and continue to think about your library marketing, just click on the link and I'll see you there.